going to go live on these other platforms here. Make sure we're good to go. And what's going on, everybody? Question to you. Have you ever felt like you were the only one that believed your crazy dream in your business, specifically your network marketing business? Have you struggled to have people join your team? Maybe you've had some join and then they fall out. And you're wondering to yourself, am I the only crazy one? Am I ever going to find my leaders? Am I ever going to duplicate? Well, today I want to submit to you 3 points that will help you never, ever go teammateless ever again. When I realized these, it's allowed me to consistently be at the top 0.1% of my network marketing business for the past, 15 years, and mentored thousands of others to the top 1% as well too. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, like this, share this. I'd encourage you, tag a teammate on this as well too. I'm gonna be dropping some gold that will literally help you to get gold as well too. So when I first got started in network marketing, I was a 19-year-old broke college student with no skills, no charisma, no social media. I was so shy, I couldn't even order food at a restaurant. Any introverts, by the way, put a me in the comments if you're an introvert. So when I thought about building a sales team, I'm like, how do you even do that? That seemed far from it. I thought I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't a leader. I thought that no one would ever follow me. But I saw the promise of network marketing and I started going to the trainings. I'm like, I got inspired, right? I want to succeed. I want to do well. So I started fumbling through it and I found that it was really difficult to enroll somebody and to keep them with me. Selling a product is one thing. Well, product is not tough. You use the product, you get an experience, testimonials, facts, sell, stories, sell. But enrolling a teammate and keeping a teammate, like they're two different things, right? It was like a completely different thing. And I scratched my head, Brandy and Jan, and I was just like, how do you do this? And I almost sold myself that I could never recruit and I could never keep a team until I learned some key things from my mentors. Now, many of you might be familiar with Jim Rohn. If you're familiar with Jim, put Jim in the chats below. But Jim Rohn is the OG of personal development. He mentored Tony Robbins. At the time of his passing, Jim Rohn was worth, I think, $300 million. So homie knew what he was doing, all right? And he really understood network marketing. And in his story, if you've ever listened to Challenge to Succeed, or even building your network marketing business, he shares in his story a couple of secrets that my mentor shared with me. You see, when he first got started in his business, he met a mentor by the name of Earl Shoaff. And Earl Shoaff, he shares in his story 3 things that Jim noticed about Earl. You might want to jot these down. Number 1, Earl Shoaff was successful. Number 2, Earl was easy to talk to. And number 3, Earl had a unique philosophy of life. Did you get that? Because these are the keys to you having a team follow you, to explode a team, to duplicate a team, to never go without a team again. Successful, easy to talk to, and a unique philosophy of life. I want to break these down with us here today. Because when you start to live these principles out, you too will see that people will just flock to you. Like, I don't remember the last time I didn't have a team. Like, it's just once you got it, then you got it. And these are principles. Remember, you're talking to somebody that started out with nothing. And for the past 15 years has been at the top of the companies that we've been at and helped a lot of other people do the same thing as well too. So let's go with the first one. If you want to build a successful team, if you want to attract people into your team, yes, of course, there's skill sets. I'm not going to talk about those today. Of course, you need to learn how to invite and present and follow up and all that. Of course. But have you noticed who here's ever enrolled some people, but they didn't stick? They didn't stay, right? So it's not just about getting someone started. To be honest, That's not hard. If anyone can learn that skill, just go to your training, follow your system, so you can do it. Like, it's not hard to enroll a partner. Like, it's not the thing. But the more important part that will matter for your bottom line and your dreams and your goals is, how do you make sure they stay with you long enough and actually do something? That's what we're talking about today. How an Earl inspired a Jim to become who he was. And that's what I want to give to you. So, what does it mean, number one, to be successful? Put successful in the chat below if you're still following with me today. You have to be successful. Now, right off the bat, you might be thinking, well, James, well, sucks for me. Like, I just got started in this thing, or I've been involved in network marketing and I'm not successful. People wouldn't call me successful. Like, I don't have the fancy car, the nice house, or the big title, or whatever that it is. And you know what I've realized is this, is that when people are looking for people to follow, it's not just what you have right now. In fact, one of my mentors said this: I want you to think about an analogy of a gym. And if you're in the gym, imagine there's two people. The first person is buff, is shredded, is lean, is like a fitness model, and is crushing it with their workout. That's one type of inspiration. But imagine there's another person that isn't in their final form, but they're hustling. They're on that treadmill and you see that they're sweating all over it. They've been on it for 30 minutes on an incline. You see them pushing that sled on that fake grass and you see them moving. You see them sprinting and you see them putting in the work. You see, what's more inspiring than only just the person that's buff is the person that's going buff. Put going in the comments below if you're still with me. People judge not just who you are, people judge based on what they perceive that you can become. And they can tell based on your seriousness. They can tell based on your work ethic. They can tell based on what you're doing on a daily basis. Why? You see, we all want to be involved in the next Google, the next Apple, the next Amazon, don't we? But we all want to be involved in those types of opportunities when it's new. When Jeff Bezos was building his business in that rickety office and he hand painted, spray painted Amazon. When Bill Gates was building Microsoft in his garage, who here would have loved to have known them back then? Right? Put me in the comments if that's the case. We're all looking for those opportunities because we know growth potential. We all want to find people at the right place in the right time. And of course, it's good to have documented success. And of course, as you do more and you have more of a reputation, is that great too? Yes. But I would submit to you that just as powerful is somebody that is sold out on their God-sized goal, saying it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, I'm getting there. So how do you look and appear successful when you don't have the success yet? Here's a couple things to consider. Number one, how big is your vision? How big is your vision? If you missed it, you might want to go back to my YouTube, subscribe there. I'm going to give this plus other mentoring content to help you get to the top 1%. As I talked about vision statements. We just walked through this huge exercise in our own business team. We had hundreds of people declare their vision statements for the year, their God-sized goals. Question to you: do you have a vision statement for your life, for your business? Second question, if you do, is it something that if someone heard, they could see themselves in it? Or is it so small that they're like, good for you? You see, for most of us, we're not actually attracting people because our goals are too small. You know what goals typically are? And these are not to condemn them, but I'm just talking about if you want people to follow you, if you want people to duplicate, if you want people to do stuff, are you sold out on your dream? And do they feel like they can see their dreams fulfilled within yours? So goals like, I just want to make my first paycheck. Not a bad goal, but that's not a dream. Goals like, I just want to make my money back. That's a good goal, but it's not a dream. Goals like, I just want to make enough to help my family. Good goal, but it's not the dream. How big is your vision? Is it something that captivates others? Is it something that if I heard it, if your dream prospect heard it, they would be like, wow, I see them getting there because I could tell they're serious about it. But also, I can see if they achieve theirs, they need to help someone like me achieve mine. If they can get there, if they have $1 million dream, maybe they can help me make a six-figure income. Does this make sense? This is law of the lid. It's super, super important. So, what is your vision like? Something that you really, really want. Okay. Number two, within being successful, is in your daily actions. Would someone believe that you're actually achieving your dream? You see, successful people understand that you become the person first and you do the habits first before you get there. If you want to lose weight, you do the habits to lose weight first before you actually see the scale change. If you want to succeed in your vision, if you want to succeed in your dream, you have to do the daily habits first. Are you prospecting every single day? Are you showing up on social media every single day? Are you expanding? Are you getting better? Are you networking? Are you getting mentors? Are you doing the do? Are you going to the events? Would people say, man, they're actually doing the things that a future top money earner would do? It's just some time. It's just some time. Okay. So is your vision huge? Are your habits and your actions following? Final thing. Final thing. Does your attitude match it? Does your attitude match it? People buy energy. People are sold based on your enthusiasm. It's an energy transfer. So can you imagine? I told you my dream. I could have a big vision. I could even do the do. I could follow the training. I could follow the system. But can you imagine? I went to Liliana and she's like, "What's your dream, James?" I'm like, I'm gonna be a top money earner here, I think. Wouldn't you be like, I don't know. That dude doesn't sound that confident. Is he? Is he really? Can you imagine I'm doing my work and I'm half-heartedly doing it? I'm thinking in my mind, I don't know if they're gonna get started or maybe I'll just do this here and there. But if your attitude does not match your standards, it does not match the type of person that you need to be that's successful, then they will not join you. I will tell you this, when I realized this secret, I realized that anyone can do this at any success level in their life because you can always put your mind and your body into a place you have never been at before. I've set some big vision statements this year. I'm talking big dreams, big goals. You know what I'm doing? I hope when I share my dreams, people aren't like, I don't know if James is going to make it. I hope that how people feel, how my team feels, is that bet on him. He's going to achieve the things that he talked about. By God's grace, it's going to get done. But your attitude must match, your actions must match, and your vision must be captivating enough where when somebody looks at you, regardless of what your actual results are, that they believe that you're going to be successful. If this still makes sense to you, put a yes in the comments below. Anyone can do this. So, point number one, if you want people, if you find yourself struggling to find teammates and keep them, check that first. Are you on the journey to being successful? Are you already successful? Success starts in the mind, right? I already know I'm successful, right? Success is going in the right direction, right? Success is fulfilling that call. Success is my obedience to what God's saying I need to get done, and I'm moving there no matter what. Okay. So, number one is that. Number two, okay, you might have that. You see, here's something that I've noticed as well is that number two, if you struggle to keep teammates, maybe you enroll teammates, right? Maybe enroll them really well. But number two, if you struggle to keep them, more than likely this is a part that you struggle with. Number two part is being easy to talk to. Translated, having a likable personality. Being somebody that people want to be around. Network marketing is a volunteer business. No one needs to work with you. No one needs to work with me. It's a volunteer army. I don't hire anyone, which is great because I don't have to deal with employees. But at the same time, I can't demand respect. I can't demand people to follow. John C. Maxwell says this is that if a leader has no followers, then they're just taking a walk. That's the truth of things. So if I take a look at my team and I notice that no one's actually listening to me, guess what, sister? Guess what, brother? You might want to take a look at these things. Think to myself, am I someone easy to talk to? I had to learn how to become personable. And this is learnable. Remember, I was so shy, I couldn't order food at a restaurant. I was so awkward. I remember I picked up some of the skills and I started to learn how to present. And I remember one day after one of the presentations, my team came up to me and they had to do an intervention. These are people in my downline, right? And they went up to me and they're like, James, bro, we love you, but I just got to say, you're not that likable. You're really boring. And I took offense at first. I mean, what do you talk about working hard for you? I'm doing all this stuff. But hey, feelings are valid. And I started to ponder that. I'm like, am I easy to talk to? Am I easy to talk to? Are you somebody that people, when they're around, they want to be around more? Or are you somebody that when you're around, they want to be around less? Here's a couple philosophies on ways to become more likable. If you're still with me, put it to you in the comments. How do you become more likable? It's learnable. Now I think I'm likable. Now I think most typically, I'm not trying to please everybody, but I will say typically people say, man, I like being around James. Okay. Why? Number one, in this, it's a perspective and it's a focus. And what it is be interested rather than interesting. Be interested rather than interesting. Time old principle is that people naturally only care about themselves. I do. I'm selfish. You're selfish. We're all selfish. I'm a shellfish. I know, bad dad joke. I'm a dad now, right? So I could do some puns. Anyway, if that is the case, I want you to think to yourself when you're in conversation with someone, genuine percentage. Think about your last conversations. How much percentage of that conversation was about you versus them? Are you the one always just talking about yourself and looking at what you can get out of it? Or are you the one always asking genuine questions, getting to know them, really trying to understand them? What I realized is I've developed an insatiable curiosity about people, an insatiable curiosity about you because I love you. Like, I just want to see the God part of you. Every day for me, I think to myself, how does God look at people? And I see hurt, I see misunderstanding, I see potential, I see I see a story. And I want to get to know that, right? So when people understand that and they can tell that I'm more interested in you than interested in myself. And you know what's cool about this for introverts? If you're an introvert, biggest secret, I don't like talking about myself that much. So if I just keep on asking questions about you, you're going to talk all day. Great. But that also means, when you're doing this well, when people tell you, you're a great conversationalist. And you know the irony, you really didn't converse much. You just asked some questions. They were talking 80% of the time. So funny. But that's one way to become likable. Number two, it's a heart posture. You can't fake the funk. If you want people to follow you, there's a quote that a prophet that I follow says. He says that which you do not love, you have no authority over. That which you do not love, you have no authority over. So, yeah, you can fake the funk, you can say the things, you can follow the scripts, but if in your heart of hearts, you don't love that person, you don't care about that person, you just see them as a number, you see them as a headache, you see them as a nuisance, you see them as a dollar sign, that intention is felt. We've all dealt with that, haven't we? Who's ever talked to somebody that you knew didn't actually care about you? Put me in the comments if that's the case. So for me, I always just think like, I love you. Regardless of what you did to me, you could have like hurt me. It's okay. Well, I want to see I aim to look at you and look at others from a God perspective. And God is love, so He chose love, so I choose to love you. Just make the decision that you love people. If you make that decision, you're instantly going to become likable. All right. So be interested, not interesting. Love them. And I'd also say, last part, how do you become likable? Is have a healthy ego. Have a healthy ego. People don't like being around egotistical people, but at the same time, people also don't like being around people that think they're humble, but they're not. What is that? Oh, I'm not that good. Oh, I'm not that special. Oh, like you're constantly throwing away compliments. You're constantly not trying to put light on yourself. You're constantly trying to downplay yourself. That's actually not humility. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Did you catch that? So some of us need to work on bringing the egotistical side down. You think way too much about yourself, and people are annoyed. Like, confident people don't need to strut their stuff. Confident people have class, unreserved energy, where you can tell that they're confident, but it's like an iceberg. You can see the tip of the confidence, but there's so much more underneath the water. Overly confident people that are perceived as egotistical try to show all of themselves. You know why? It's actually due to a deep level of insecurity that you feel that you won't be accepted. So you feel like you have to overcompensate by showcasing this all out to the world. How do I know that? Because I'm deeply insecure. How do I know that? Because when I was first dealing with people, I did it all wrong. And I felt like I had to show my best self all the time and be strong and tough and a baller and successful. And I realized people don't like that. People don't like that. People want the real you, all the good and all the bad. I love laughing about myself, but I don't love demeaning myself. I love being able to poke fun at myself, but I'm not going to back down. Flip side, if you're always talking less about yourself, I challenge you on that. Confidence, right? If you want people to follow you, who wants to follow someone that's always putting themselves down? Don't you want to be around winners? Don't you be around people that give you more confidence and enthusiasm? So, what is humility then? It's just thinking less of yourself, thinking of yourself less. So, it's not all about you. But if someone gives you a compliment next time, instead of saying, like, no, you know what I'd say? Thank you. When people now say, because I worked on it, people say, James, you're a great speaker. I say, thanks. I worked hard at it. Right? Like, stand up legitimately for the things that are true. Have true authenticity about that, but don't gloat about it. It's just being aware to these different types of things. All right? 3 points. Successful, easy to talk to. If you're ready for number 3, put a 3 in the comments below. This is how to make sure you always have people following you. This is how to make sure you not just enroll teammates, but they stick and they grow. All right, number 3. This is secret sauce. Number 3. This is where retention, if you have retention issues in your team, you probably need to work on this. This is where if people don't grow or they're not inspired, they don't listen to you long term, it's probably because of this. Number 3 is having a unique philosophy of life. Having a unique philosophy of life. Do you think differently than what most other people think? Or do you kind of just believe what everyone else is doing? You see, my greatest mentor is Jesus. Jesus, whether you believe in him or not, had a very unique philosophy on life. He was so influential that for those that believed him, his presentation was simple. It was follow me. Boom, they left their lives, followed him. Why? He had a unique philosophy of life. So, what are unique philosophies of life? here's a pro tip. All right, this is what I found. This is what I found. You can read 10,000 personal development books, but to be honest, for me, I've read that there's only one book I need to read and follow, and you have a unique philosophy of life that works well. That's the Bible. I mean, it just works. That's why I just keep on reading that over and over and over again. I would recommend it as well too. But are you looking at life in a unique way? For example, when people hang out with me now, they'll see that I do things uniquely. Let's give an example. One example is the world believes that you need to hustle 24/7 in order to succeed. I don't believe that. I believe there's a pace of grace. I believe in rest, recuperation. I believe in recreation. I believe in putting your family first, putting God first. And you can rest. You can have time. I believe in sleeping well. I believe in treating yourself well. And when people are around, they can tell this guy is like pretty peaceful. Another philosophy. People feel like when people wrong you, you got to get them back. I'm like, my heart breaks when people wrong me because I know that hurt people hurt people. So when somebody is in the team, they do something, they lash out, they do something really, really unethical, they do something that you're like, why do they do that? Instead of me judging them, instead of me casting them out, my heart breaks. And I'm like, gosh, they must have a story. They must have been through some stuff. And I pray for them. I weep for them. Now we navigate. We don't have to be with them necessarily, but the love is still there. But what are your philosophies of life? If people were to ask you, would they think to themselves, wow, I never thought about it that way? That's when I realized that as people hung with me more, it's because the philosophies that I started to learn and adhere to in life, people would always say, wow, I never thought about it that way. So you have to do the hard work on yourself to view life a certain way. People buy you, the way you carry yourself, your product, your service, your business at first, but they stay and they grow based on your philosophies on life. Because you know, ultimately, what you're selling a way of living. If you want to build a successful network marketing business, people are buying your lifestyle. Do they want to copy it? Do they want to believe in that? Who here, by the way, has ever gotten to get to know somebody and you lost respect for them because there was a philosophy of life that you did not agree with, right? Put a me in the comments if that's the case. Maybe it's a philosophy about relationships. Some people are transactional. You can tell they only care about the dollar. And the moment someone cannot make them money, they drop them. That's not good. Maybe it's something in your marriage where they don't actually believe. They believe, for me, they believe marriage is just an institution. Marriage is just out of convenience. And it's something that can be easily cut and easily you can find another one. I don't believe that. I believe that marriage is a biblical covenant. I believe two become one. Divorce is not in my vocabulary. I've never said, Becky's never said the D word. Never. We will never. For us, I'm not saying it's wrong. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not condemning anyone. If you've done this, we all fall short, but I'm just saying these are beliefs, right? Maybe it's a philosophy of your leadership style. Some people have a very managerial type of philosophy. They say, I'm just going to find a couple people and I'm going to support them and, it's going to be good. Well, what I believe is you should always be leading from the front. What I believe you should be always be enrolling and recruiting, and you should be the best salesperson. You should be the best enroller. You should be at the top of the charts or aim to be. Unique philosophies on life. But as you start to embody these things, you start to look and appear successful. You start to become easier to talk to. And you start to become someone that has a unique philosophy of life. You will find that not only will people be attracted to you, not only will they join you, not only will they stay with you, but you will develop a loyalty, you will develop an inspiration, You will develop a following of growing leaders, of inspiring a next generation. And that in network marketing builds a consistent business, an expanding business that can achieve the dreams of the things that we want to look for. I know that any single one of you, if you'd made the decision, can adopt these things and today totally change the trajectory of your network marketing business in your organization. As long as you take down these three things. It worked for Jim Rohn and Earl Shove. It worked for me. It'll work for you too. If you believe that, by the way, put in the chat, it'll work for me. It'll work for me. So if this did encourage you, share this, tag probably your teammates on this. This would be wise. If you have teammates. I mean, if you have 10 teammates that learn how to become influential, that's pretty good for your paycheck, right? In your business. And if this is helpful, subscribe to my YouTube. My goal, my commitment this year is I want to help over 100 people get to the top 1% in their network marketing business. And if this is a place, my goal is to be able to have a weekly mentorship session like this and unpack some things that'll work for you in any business that you're in, any team that you're in. And I really hope that the best thank you is for you to just take it, run with it, and succeed. All right. So with that said, I also have a free course if you want to grab that as well too, how to succeed in business God's way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you have any topics in mind that you would love to discuss, let me know as well too, and I'll consider those as well. All right. On that, God bless. Let's crush it. Bye-bye.